So the book, obviously, you guys know it's Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, but the subtitle is a financial strategy to reignite the American dream. Now, it seems like, I woke up one morning and, oh, this sounds like a good title or this sounds like a good subtitle. But I thought a lot about it. And it was one of those other moments where I got, stuck. I couldn't figure out like, what the title should be. I came up with a bunch of different ideas, but then I decided to go out to Denver, where my business coaches were at the time, and they had worked a lot in the publishing business as well as the marketing business, just brilliant minds. And it took us about 4 hours to come up with just the Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, which is a saying that, and it's interesting because the saying became very popular with those that did not like Donald Trump right after he was voted and started using this phrase, heads I win, tails you lose. But the phrase actually goes back quite a bit, and it means to, essentially establish a strategy where you win no matter what. And that's where it just totally resonated with me. And then the subtitle came, oddly enough, like going back on the plane, where I was like, the American dream, something that really fit the narrative of what I was trying to talk about in the introduction. But the American dream, and I was American dream, and then financial strategy to reignite the American dream. So that's kind of where that came from. And then as far as chapter 1 is concerned, which I believe gets into the definition of what I consider the American dream to be, I took a really long time to ensure that that was actually what I believe. So some of you guys know that I have a podcast. It's called The Wealth Standard. And in 2018, when the book came out, I decided I would kind of like, do some hack the system, right? And figure out a way to unpack and analyze and think through what the American dream was. And so I decided to use a phrase that was part of John Locke, who is a British philosopher. And he, had this phrase which made it to the Declaration of Independence in part, changed slightly by Thomas Jefferson, but it was, the pursuit of life, liberty, and originally property before it became happiness. And so that it really intrigued me what that saying was. And so in the 3 seasons, we essentially had 4 months of the podcast dedicated to life and what that meant, 4 months dedicated to liberty and what that meant, and then 4 months dedicated to property and what that meant. So if you guys are intrigued and feel compelled to learn more about where the subtitle came from and what the American dream really is, then that is essentially 12 months of podcasts and interviews, and I would say dozens of hours into what that really means. But it helped me because I was able to really understand what it meant, which allowed for I would say a smoother way in which I wrote about it in chapter 1.